Hey everyone, welcome back to Reasons for Roots. My name is Lauren and I'm a homeschool mom to 4 kids. So in this video, I thought I would do a ThriftBooks haul. So over the last few months, really since January, I have been collecting the books that we will need for our Charlotte Mason education for next year. So if you're familiar with Charlotte Mason, it's a lot of books. It's living books. And so the curriculum that I chose, I bought the book list and went ahead and started buying those books. Now, I'm not going to really tell you a whole lot about that curriculum right now. Just wanted to show you what I've been buying to have a Charlotte Mason education for next year. Now, almost all of these came from ThriftBooks. There was a few that came from the Amazon used section, but most came from ThriftBooks. And I will go ahead and tell you that all of these books, well over 50 books, I would say, cost around, oh goodness, I would say it was around $500 for all of these books. So it's a very big haul, but I've been buying a little at a time. And for 4 kids, if you know anything about buying homeschool curriculum, $500 isn't just a huge cost, especially when you're talking about as many books as I have purchased. And this will be the big chunk of their curriculum. I don't have to order very much more than this. So really, ThriftBooks has helped me out a lot this time around this school year. So I'm going to get going and show you what I got. Okay, so I'm just going to start pulling from the top. So this is a high school book. This is America, the Last Best Hope. I saw this recommended from Heart of Dakota. So it'll be used for high school. Come learn with me the kingdoms of classification. The Children's Homer. Now, a lot of these will be some of these will be read aloud. Some of these are spines. Some of these are just like literature reads. So this is Forge by Lori Helse Anderson. And what's funny is I meant to buy Chains by the same author, but instead I bought Forge. You know, ThriftBooks can be kind of tricky sometimes, but I think we'll use both of these. They both look really good. The American Revolution. This one we're going to use in our morning time. This is the American Patriots Almanac, and it's by the same author as the first book I showed you, William J. Bennett. I really like him, and so we're going to use this in our morning time. And this is one of my favorites, one of my favorite things I found. Rod and Staff, English 6. So, you know, I love Rod and Staff. I was so tickled to find the teacher's guide and the student's guide in light new condition on ThriftBooks. So we have that for my 6th grader for next year. Amos Fortune, Lewis and Clark, Black Heroes of the American Revolution, Almacosto, I don't know how to pronounce that. I'll have to look that up. The Witch of Blackbird Pond. A Wonderbook by Nathanael Hawthorne. This has beautiful illustrations in it. I was very pleased with this one. It was in very good condition. This I bought kind of as, I thought we might use this as our family history time, kind of to tie us all in together. It was only like $3. It's like a $50 history book. It's all American history, and I'm not crazy about this. Don't know if I will use this or not. We'll see, but I tried to use it a couple weeks ago for a couple lessons, and it wasn't very engaging. It was very dry. So I don't know if I probably won't use it, but I wanted to check it out for $3 or $4. I mean, you know, I can resell it. So there's that. French in 10 minutes. My son's actually using this now. Ben and me and Aubrey are reading through this right now, which we really like it. Ben Franklin's book of easy and incredible experiments. So this is kind of like for science, and Aubrey's already started on this. It's really neat learning about Ben Franklin, and it has some experiments in there. The Midnight Run of Paul Revere picture book. So I will add that these are for kindergarten, first-ish grade, 6th grade, 10th grade, and 12th grade. Okay, so if you lived in the time of the American Revolution, meet Thomas Jefferson. And I don't have my glasses on because they glare so bad. So if I like squinting to read the titles, I'm blind as a bat, so sorry. The 4th of July story. Worst of Friends. We the People. Our 50 States. My America, a poetry atlas. This is so neat. It has a poem for every state. I really look forward to going through this with my 2 younger children. This is a high school spine, and he's actually reading some out of it right now, but it is Churchill's History of the English-Speaking People. So cool to have a high schooler reading Churchill. I was talking with my aunt who is a high school English teacher, and I was, homeschool mom doubt, worried that he wasn't getting what he needed, and having a conversation with her. And she said, just bluntly, most 9th graders don't even know who Winston Churchill is, much less read him almost daily. So, I think it's great to be able to give our children this kind of education. So Churchill's History. Then we have Paul Johnson, A History of the American People. This will be a spine. I think it's used for several years. If you continue with that curriculum I'm going to use. I've read through it, some of it. Some people I had read reviews that's kind of liberal. I don't see anything liberal, very conservative in my viewpoint, and I haven't seen any kind of red flags yet. Of course, with any book, you may not agree 100% with the author, and that's a learning point. That's not necessarily to set a book aside. So he's using that a little right now. He's also reading The World of Captain John Smith. He's actually reading it now, so this isn't for next year. But this is a beautiful feats book. I really like that for 9th grade. Then we have The Invitation to the Classics. This is basically a literature guide. Then we have The Story of the Constitution. It's kind of like a workbook style, but it's from Christian Liberty Press. And if you don't know a whole lot about Christian Liberty Press, they are very Charlotte Mason inspired. I love them. I use a lot of their stuff, especially with my little guy. So this is from Christian Liberty Press. We have Undaunted Courage, the story of Lewis and Clark. Oh, I bought 2 of the English-speaking people's books. So there's another one. Freckles. Pride and Prejudice. Paddle to the Sea. Beautiful illustrated book. The Signers. Talking about the 56 Signers. This is a beautiful book. I flipped through it and really like it. And we're writing the Constitution. The Wind and the Willows. 5 Little Peppers. Homer Price. Mr. Bodwitch. Carry On, Mr. Bodwitch. Tolliver's Travels. Or Tolliver's Secret. Sorry, Tolliver's Secret. The Secret Garden, George versus George, and the Greenleaf Guide to Famous Men of Greece. So that's what I have gotten from ThriftBooks over the past couple months. Now for just a few things that I have gotten from Amazon and from the used section. U.S. History Detective. Now this is normally like 40 bucks. I paid like $18 for it yet. Looks brand new. And this definitely is not Charlotte Mason. But I got this because sometimes my children, especially my older boys, have a hard time reading something and then telling me where they got that information from in the chapter, or, you know, narrating it back to me. This actually asks you to like be a detective and look, and if you'll see right there, it asks you to answer like what sentence and what paragraph you got your answer from. And that's really what I'm wanting them to do and practice. And so this will not be a daily thing. This is book 1, the Colonial Era to the Reconstruction Era. So we won't use this whole book next year, and we're using it a little bit now as we're studying the colonial age. But I just want them to get used to being able to go back to their sources and just being better at finding answers in what they read, if that makes sense. So this is to help really reading comprehension, I guess you could call it. But so this is the more traditional style. But so far so good with it. We're using it a little now. Then for next year, we have the Book of Ancient Greeks. I got this for like $8, and it's like in new condition. Sometimes it's hard to find a good deal on the Amazon used, but those two were really good deals. This one's not in as good of shape as the others, but it'll do. It's Famous Men of Greece by Memorial Press, and so it will go with the Greenleaf Guide. I actually thought this is what I was buying when I bought this, so I got tricked on ThriftBooks. But that's what I have, and this will be the big chunk of what we use. I'll be explaining more in a future video on how we're going to use it, what curriculum I'm using it with. I'm not going to tell you exactly which books I'm going to use with which age, because the author of the curriculum I'm using has a book list, and I don't want to spoil it for her. So stay tuned if you want to know why and how we're going to use all of these great books upcoming in our next school year. Say bye.
Bye.